Welcome back to another video. If you are new to my channel, my name is Holly, and on this channel I discuss narcissism, narcissistic abuse, abstinence, and from time to time I do deviate from the topics at hand and I discuss topics that are of interest to me. So in this video I'm going to be talking about reconciliation and giving second chances. Me personally, it took me a very long time to learn my worth. In fact, I had to get narcissistically discarded. My ex, who narcissistically discarded me over 5 years ago, which is the reason why I am abstinent now. Been abstinent for over 5 years. He's the reason. He hurt me so bad. He's the reason why I am abstinent until marriage. And I made the decision that I am not going to give my body to a man who is not serious about me, who is not committed to me, and who has not made me a wife. And I don't give second chances to men who have hurt me, who have narcissistically abused me, who have left me with a child, and that has happened to me. My daughter's father, who is deceased, unfortunately, he's deceased, and he got me pregnant on purpose and then narcissistically discarded me. He got me pregnant on purpose because he was possessive over me, and that was his way of marking his territory to make it harder for me to leave. Unfortunately, he is deceased. So, I don't reconcile with narcissists. I do not, and I highly recommend that if your ex is a narcissist, do not give that bird a second chance. Women who know their worth do not give men second chances or reconcile with men who have narcissistically abused you, hurt you, dogged you out, physically abused you in any way. If he, narcissistically discarded you, no. They don't deserve a second chance. He had a chance with you. He blew it. He has already shown you what he is capable of. He has already shown you his true colors. He has already shown you the kind of man that he really is. He has already shown you his character once. And if you keep allowing narcissistic men back into your life, the abuse will escalate. Especially if you are a domestic violence victim. I have experienced domestic violence, with my children's father. My children's father stalked me. And matter of fact, I'm going to share my story, my stalking story in this video. I wasn't going to share it, but for educational purposes, I am going to share it. My children's father is deceased, but he did stalk me. I was in college at the time when this incident happened. I was taking evening classes. My daughters were really little. They were in daycare. And so my class had ended, and I got this weird random text message from my children's father asking me what time I was going to pick my children up. And mind you, I had told him that I moved, and he wanted to know where I moved. I moved into a new apartment. I was renting an apartment at the time. I'm a homeowner now. And so I get this random text message from him asking me what time I was going to pick the kids up. I didn't think anything of it. So I texted him. He knew where the daycare was, the address and everything, because we were co-parenting and it was court ordered. So, on his days that he got the kids, he would pick them up. So he had to know where the daycare was. So I didn't think anything of it. So I told him what time I was going to pick the children up, my twin daughters. So I picked my children up, and I happened to see, as I was leaving the daycare, after I, put my children in the car and buckled them up, I noticed these strange bright headlights behind me. And I was like, those lights look familiar. And I didn't think anything of it. And I had just moved into my apartment. So I head home, I go home, and I get my daughters out of their car seat. I don't know how old they were at the time. I think they had to have been less than a year old. So I bring everything inside. I bring my kids inside my apartment. And then I get this text message from my children's father. He texted me my full new apartment address. I freaked out. I got upset. I called the police. The police came to my apartment. Of course, they couldn't do anything. They did write an incident report. So they gave me an incident report. My children's father stalked me. He was so possessive over me. He wanted to know where I lived. And even though the courts, I don't know if the courts required me. The courts didn't make me give him my address. At some point they did, but I refused to give him my address because of the domestic violence. He never put his hands on me, but he was jealous and possessive, and that is a form of domestic violence. And at some point, he snatched my cell phone out of my hand, and he said, is this the phone your new boyfriend is calling you on? He snatched my cell phone out of my hand and threw it across the parking lot at my other apartment that I moved from months after I moved out of that apartment. Well, before I moved out of that apartment. And so that blew up into a civil, criminal thing. I'm not going to get into that, but he was jealous. So he texted me my full apartment address just to send a message that he knew where I live now. He followed me home from the daycare. He wanted to know what time I was picking up the kids so that he could follow me home and find out where I lived. This is how narcissists, this is what narcissistic men do. They are stalkers. Not all of them, but a lot of them are stalkers. A lot of them are abusive. He never put his hands on me, but he was very jealous and possessive. And I didn't see the warning signs when I first met him. So the police came over, they gave me an incident report, and that was the end of it. So that is my stalking story. But back to the topic of this video, ladies, never reconcile with an abuser. Never reconcile with narcissists. Narcissists are abusers, and the abuse will escalate. He does not deserve you. You need to learn your worth, know your value, know your worth. Fall in love with a man who deserves you, who deserves to be in your life. There are, well, not a lot of men out here who deserve you and deserve to be in your life. Very few men deserve me and deserve to be in my life. There is a man that I am interested in. Like I've said, I am interested in him, and, he is a good man, and, he's different, and he's a godly man. And I wish I would have met him years ago. It feels like I've known him. I don't know. It feels like I've known him for a long time. Like I just feel like I'm not gonna say anything too personal, but man, this man is amazing, and he just makes me so happy. He just makes my heart just, oh my gosh. He makes me so happy. I haven't felt this way in years. I haven't felt this way in a long, long time. And so I have really, really deep feelings for him, and he just makes me so happy. So happy. So ladies, don't reconcile with narcissists. There's love out there. There are good men out there. There's just not a lot. You have to be selective. Do not allow a narcissist back into your life. If your narcissist hoovers you this year, or at any point in the future, do not take that man back. Remember what that man put you through. Narcissistic hoovers is all it is a manipulative tactic, so that he can come back to abuse you again, to put you through another round, another cycle of narcissistic abuse. That's all it is. It's manipulation. Don't take your narcissistic ex back. Move on. Leave that man right where he belongs, in your past, and move on to someone else. Just be very selective with these men out here, because most men are narcissists. Most men are narcissists. So you have to be very careful. Don't give that man your body again. He don't deserve your sex. You know, he had an opportunity. But he blew it. So, you know, I will never allow my ex back into my life ever again. I've moved on. There's a new man that's on my mind that, you know, that makes me happy. And, like, I don't want my ex back. I've moved on. I have fully healed. He put me through a lot. I went through depression because of him. I was emotionally unavailable for a long time because of him. He hurt me. He broke my heart. I want to say some things that, you know, I don't use profanity like I used to, but man, I want to say, I just want to use profanity right now, but I'm not going to. That man needs to, like, just, I don't care. Like, I've moved on and never taking him back. I've leveled up. I've lost weight. I've glowed up. And hey, you lost your chances. He blew his chances. So too bad. That's just too bad. You know, there was a quote that I posted on my community tab that basically said, sometimes a man's purpose is to help a woman become a better version of herself, you know, become better for another man. And what that quote means, and I actually wrote it up in my caption, what my interpretation of what that quote means. What that quote means is that sometimes, you know, a man can come into your life and hurt you. You can allow the wrong man in your life, and that man ends up hurting you and breaking your heart. And because of that hurt, if it wasn't for that man coming into your life, you would not be a better version of yourself. That man coming into your life, he hurt you so bad. Like, my ex hurt me so bad. I became abstinent, which is the right thing to do. I lost weight. You know, I leveled up. I healed myself, got myself into therapy, not for my ex. I did all that for me, but I'm not going to take my ex back. There's a new man that's going to enjoy the healed version of me, the better version of me that my ex does not deserve. He does not deserve my sex. He does not deserve nothing. He doesn't deserve my sex. He doesn't deserve the healed version of me. He doesn't deserve this good version of me, this better version of me. He does not deserve my energy. He does not deserve my time, my attention. He deserves nothing. I'm paying him dust. Dust, baby. Yes, dust. Pay your ex dust. That's what that clown deserves. That's what that bird deserves. Dust. Pay that man dust. Pay that bird dust. Yeah. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next upload.